How's it going, everybody? I'm the BTC Reaper. My goal in this channel is to teach you how to reap the rewards of trading, whether the price is going up or down. Countdown for SEC decision on Blackrock Spot Bitcoin ETF. So the dates we had to watch for this. So everyone thinks that the Blackrock ETF is known as iShares Bitcoin Trust is going to have very good odds of approval because BlackRock's 575 to 1 with the SEC, where that one was their last Bitcoin ETF. The Bitcoin ETF itself has had 33 rejections on its own, just from separate companies, so it's not just BlackRock being rejected. BlackRock does have close ties with the US regulators and the Democratic Party that does not favor crypto too much, so this may give them a little niche to kind of help control the market and control crypto. The SEC's deadlines and decision regarding the iShares Bitcoin Trust depend on whether the application is published for comments in the Federal Register. Once that happens, there will be a period of 45 days to approve, reject, extend, review the ETF. This timeline for this could be around August 12th, which would be they could do a 45 extension, and then they could do another extension to drag it out to September 26th. And they can keep extending it to make the final deadline February 23rd, 2024, roughly. That would be if it were published on June 29th. So we would have to see if it gets published on that date, but this would be the timeline that it could be actually approved. So we have a lot of hope about this ETF, a lot of pumps going on because of the ETF, but it's still going to take some time. US SEC agrees to scrap $30 million BlockFi fine. So the SEC has actually done something good for someone. They said, hey, take care of the people that have put money in you and pay us later. So they want them to scrap the penalty until the company can pay off parties who lost money when it went bankrupt. So the customers are going to get something before the SEC does. Back in February 2022, BlockFi did agree to pay a $50 million penalty to the SEC for failing to register their offered sales of retail crypto lending products, as well as violating the registration provisions of the Investment Company Act of 1940. So that's what the fine is if you're not sure what happened. So bad news for quite like the economy. $5.4 trillion could begin taken out of the banks due to the Federal Reserve scaling back. The paper is a Fed paper, estimates that the bank's reserve balance could be reduced from $6 trillion to $600 billion. So they want to take a lot of their money back. Back in 2020, the Fed bought US Treasuries and mortgage-backed MBSs or securities on the open market. That pumped trillions of dollars into the banking system, and that helped spur lending and economic activity. So with this money coming back to the Fed, there's going to be less lending and less economic activity. So inflation is something that's causing the Fed to want to unwind their bonds and sell off some of their portfolio and take their money back. JP Morgan activates zero payment settlement with its JPM coin. So the first transaction they did is overseas. JP Morgan has gone live with the first blockchain transactions for its corporate clients in Europe using its own token. The JPM coin transaction was conducted by Siemens AG, a large German-based conglomerate. A permission blockchain is what they use and is a distributed ledger that is not publicly accessible, so you and me can't access it. And the bank said that JPM coin is only made available to institutional clients and is only for settling payments. Banks are looking to use crypto to help speed up their payment systems. So this is good for adoption and good for them using the coins. Obviously, it's not the ones everyone thought it would be, but hey. So over onto the charts here. Our total market cap is taking a little bit of a pullback here. We are getting a bearish cross on stochastic. RSI is pointing down. VWAP is continuing to fall. And our momentum is starting to roll over. Our money flow is starting to come out as well, so we are getting a bit of a pullback here. Over on Bitcoin dominance, we have a slight pump up, not anything too exciting, but we are continuing to move up. Our stochastic is still overbought and not really going anywhere. RSI is still riding overbought, We have a double red dot in momentum though, so that could bring us lower. Our money flow is starting to roll out, and our VWAP is testing that neutral line and could break to the bearish side, so keep an eye on that. Over on our futures, we are getting a decent pump. We have this volume node that we did get rejected at 31.5, so we did get rejected at that resistance area. However, we are seeing a bit of a support above 31k, so that is decent for us to continue moving up. Stochastic is overbought, but it's starting to just flatten out, so even if we do cross, we might just ride just like the dominance. RSI is pushing up, VWAP's coming down, momentum looks like it could curl out, and our money flow is starting to reject away from the neutral, so I'd keep an eye on all those indicators as they're looking more bearish leaning. Over on Bitcoin, we are coming back down about 30.5. Testing the support level, so if we do break through and hold, that would not be good. This could solidify a top. Stochastic is starting to get a bearish break. RSI is starting to curl down. Momentum's starting to curl down. VWAP's coming down, and our money flow is getting really close to that neutral line and could break bearish. Over on the 4-hour, RSI is losing strength. Stochastic is falling with a bearish divergence. Our money flow overall is falling down. Our stochastic is oversold and has almost absolutely no strength. Our VWAP is getting lower lows and starting to come down lower. So we are at this like -6 level. If we push any lower, then we could see a volatile move under. We are seeing like rejections on lower time frames. Our RSI is coming down here on the 2-hour. Momentum's getting a bearish divergence and coming down, about to break through that neutral. VWAP wants to curl back up, so that might be able to push our momentum higher. Our money flow overall is still rounding out though, so we are losing some momentum here on the 2-hour. Over on the 1-hour, stochastic is getting a bullish cross. RSI is overall losing strength. Our money flow did make a bounce off the neutral twice, so we are decent. We do have bullish momentum. We had a red dot that wanted to bring us down. We didn't go anywhere, and we could get a bullish curl up with the green dot, so that might help propel us forward on the 1-hour. Over on the 30-minute, you can see the money flow is in the red, so we do have that bearish cross. So keep an eye out, because that could roll over to the 1-hour, which could start to lead into our medium and higher time frames that we actually watch on a daily basis. Over on graph here, we are getting a little bit of a pullback. Our stochastic has a bearish cross. RSI is starting to fall. VWAP is starting to fall. Momentum's rolling over. Money flow is crossing down away from that neutral line, so we are seeing a little more bearish leaning action. Over on the 4-hour, we have manipulation X, bearish divergence on our momentum. RSI is coming down. Stochastic is coming down. Our money flow overall is rounding out. Our VWAP is in the bearish territory with a new low, and it is trying to come back up right around this 9. So if it gets rejected here, we could see another low form, and we could see further downside. Over on the 2-hour, we have bearish momentum on our stochastic, bearish momentum on our momentum. So we have bearish divergence everywhere. Stochastic is coming down. Our RSI is coming down, sorry. Our stochastic wants to pump, but it is very tight, so it could start to roll over and just fall back over, so keep an eye on it. Money flow is in the bullish territory, so we do still have bullish momentum on this medium time frame. Our momentum wave is trying to get a curl up with a green dot, so even though we have that bearish divergence that brought us down, it didn't really take us down too bad, and we are getting some hopeful signs of a push up. But our VWAP is very weak over the neutral line, so just keep an eye if it breaks back down. Over on the 1-hour, stochastic is running up. Our RSI could run up. Our money flow overall is rounding out and getting lower highs, so I'd want to see a new high form. That way we have a new bullish trend starting. Our VWAP is starting to come out. Momentum looks like it could start to round out, but it is trying to push up, so if we continue this strength, we could see that straighten out a little more. Over on Anchor for the daily, we are getting a pretty decent pump through our value area low. So that's our value area low for this big macro channel right around here. We do have this little micro channel that we got stuck in before, so that's where this value area low is. So we could get a rejection from that value area low in our micro channel, and then come up to the shared point of control. You can see they pretty much both have the same exact point of control, and then we could see a snap to our high value areas if we're able to break through those. Our stochastic is getting a bearish cross. RSI is running up very strongly though. Our momentum is coming up pretty strong. VWAP's coming up. Money flow is coming up. So we are looking pretty strong here on the daily. Over on the 4 hour, you can see we might have a bit of a cup we could make and come back down, make a handle. Bitcoin kind of had that too. Stochastic is getting a bearish divergence, or momentum's getting a bearish divergence. RSI is trying to press forward. Stochastic's trying to ramp up. Money flow is trying to make a consistent high, so we'll have to see if it can break through this zone, or if we pull back and see the money flow start to weaken. Our VWAP is getting lower highs, so that could press into the bearish territory and bring our momentum down. Over on the 2 hour, stochastic is trying to push higher, RSI is trying to push higher, momentum's trying to push. If we zoom in, it is kind of curling those, so keep an eye on that. Our money flow is getting higher highs, so money flow is continuing a bullish trend, but our VWAP is getting lower highs and did bounce off the neutral. It broke bearish twice, but we did come back bullish, so we'll have to see if we can sustain this and keep getting new highs, or if we flop back over. Over on the 1 hour, stochastic's starting to bend, RSI is starting to bend, momentum's starting to bend. Our money flow overall is getting lower highs. We are getting higher highs as of where we got this breakout, but that's to be expected as money's supposed to come up if you get a breakout. Otherwise, if you see money flow coming down while you're breaking up, that's a sign of manipulation. Our VWAP is coming down and could break into the bearish territory, so this may be a local top and we may see a little bit of a pullback. That's not necessarily to say we'll dump back down to where we were, but we could retest some of these other highs. We did get like a 15% pump, so Anchor just went wild today compared to everything. So XRP, we are pushing away from our channel still, so we are kind of confirming around. So I'd watch out. This is pretty much the full breakdown of that channel, but that's kind of creating a rounding top. Our RSI is starting to fall, stochastic's starting to get a bearish cross and fall, money flow is starting to round up, VWAP is in the bearish territory, and our momentum is about to confirm a red dot, so we could see some further downside. Over on the 4 hour, you can see we're just kind of bending down. Stochastic and RSI are starting to get beat down. Stochastic has almost no strength. RSI is coming down. Momentum's almost as oversold as it can be, but it might make a little bit of a bounce for a little bit of a relief rally. Our stochastic isn't too hopeful though. It wants to round back over, and our money flow is stretching itself very thin, so keep an eye on if that money flow breaks bearish. Our VWAP wants to break bullish, so if that does happen, that could help snap everything back up. Over on the 2 hour, our RSI is overall losing strength, stochastic is losing strength. It does have a bullish cross, so that could help press us forward with a bullish divergence. Our money flow is above the neutral, but we're just clinging above it, so we'll have to see if we can actually get some weight and some momentum behind a rally. Our momentum wave wants to get a double green dot that could press us forward, so we are set up to see somewhat of a bounce possibly. If we take our candles, go away. A little more closely to here. Yeah, kind of sloppy to try and make any pattern out of this. That might be an up channel, so just be wary. Or an ascending wedge, so those are both bearish patterns that could press us lower. But back to the 1 hour, our stochastic is overall getting lower highs and our price is starting to fall, so we do have a mini down channel as well, so we could see a break up through that and then maybe a snap back down. Money flow did touch in the bearish zone and it did snap back bullish. is trying to ramp up, so if it does successfully ramp up, we may see some further upside. Our VWAP did make a bounce off that neutral and is trying to make higher highs, so again, if that can keep going, we may be set up for some upside. Our momentum wave is trying to come up with a green dot that's invalidating our red dot, so we are looking pretty decent for a move forward on this momentum as well, so everything's looking a little hopeful. Keep your eyes on the next few candles for sure. Over on Algo, our stochastic's starting to bend, RSI is starting to bend, our momentum is trying to come up, VWAP is starting to curl out, money flow is rejecting away from neutral, so we are getting a little bit of a pullback, kind of like I warned about, so I hope you took any gains you got yesterday if you were worried about losing. Stochastic is falling, we have a bearish divergence that's taking us down, RSI is starting to curl down, momentum's coming down, money flows overall arching out, and our VWAP is breaking down into the bearish territory here on the 4 hour. So overall, we're a little more bearish leaning. If we look over at the 2 hour, momentum did get a new high with price making a new high, so that is good for us. Our stochastic overall is pretty beat down though. Our RSI is starting to slide because it has no strength. Our VWAP is in the bearish territory, rejected crossing back bullish. Our money flow is starting to come out, but we did make new highs. So we are a little mixed. We might get a little bit of a temporary cool off and a bounce. We'll have to see if we can bounce off the bottom of this channel if we make a retest. Over on the 1 hour, our momentum did have a bearish divergence that didn't really bring us down. So our momentum might start to curl and come back up. Our VWAP is trying to get a recovery here on the 1 hour. So if that VWAP's able to recover on the 1 hour and cross bullish, we may see the momentum come up, and that could help press our medium to higher time frames back up. Our VWAP is trying to break through, like I said. Stochastic's trying to make a bullish cross and bounce off this overbought area, or oversold area, sorry. And our RSI is overall sliding because it has no strength. Our money flow is trying to make a little bit of a bounce back up, and we are trying to break through resistance around this 20, so if we can do that and keep going, we may see some further upside to the top of this channel. Thank you for watching tonight's video. I hope you have a wonderful night.